This week, the NBA announced what Spurs fans are calling the Zaza Pachulia Rule. It's named for the dirty player that injured Kawhi Leonard in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals and single-handedly changed the course of that series. The rule states that NBA referees will be able to call flagrant or technical fouls on defenders who dangerously close on jump shooters without allowing space to land. That sounds good and all, but there are two major problems with this rule. One, referees could already do this. All technical fouls are already at the discretion of referees. Anytime a player tries to injure another, the referees can look at a replay and issue a tech or flagrant regardless of the offending player's intent. And two, this rule does nothing to dissuade players like Zaza from taking out the competition for the team's benefit. Let's just say that this rule was in place last year. Zaza still has all the motivation to do what he did. He'd get a technical or flagrant foul. Maybe he'd even be tossed from the game. He'd pay a small fine, maybe miss the next game, and that's it. Kawhi Leonard is still out for the rest of the playoffs. What this rule needs is teeth, where the first offense brings a heavy punishment and gets worse each time, like Major League Baseball's PED rules. My proposal would call for a 10-game suspension for the first offense, followed by 30 games for the second and 60 for a third, with the player getting suspended for a full calendar year after that. With 10 games worth of pay hanging over you if you get caught, suddenly there's a financial incentive not to be a dirty player like Zaza Pachulia. Also in my proposal, unlike technical fouls, the count doesn't reset every year. If you injure a player in 2017 and then do it again in 2020, then there's your 30-game suspension. The number doesn't reset until 5 years after the first incident. This type of rule would also discourage teams from signing a reckless player like Zaza after one offense. With a possible 30-game suspension looming over that player after one violation, a team might not want to take the risk of signing a guy who could miss half the season and possibly the playoffs by doing something stupid. But the NBA is unlikely to take this logical step to protect their players. The only recourse is for teams to embrace the old ways, like the bad boy Pistons or Knicks and Pacers of the 90s. The hockey model: let the goons act as enforcers. So if this year Zaza tries to undercut Kawhi again, Davis Bertans can check in and punch out Zaza, or try to take out Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. My guess is that the NBA probably doesn't want to return to the days of enforcers and fights happening on the court regularly. So I would suggest that they take a serious look at making the Zaza rule a lot harsher. So what do you think? Does the Zaza rule go far enough? Should it be harsher? Should the NBA bring back goons? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like me on Facebook at facebook.com/playmakerjavi and follow me on Twitter at JaviPerezCans5. I'm Javi Perez, and I'll see you next time.